Hello, and welcome to Conversations about the 2015 North American Systemic Constellations Conference coming up in San Diego in November. I am Linda Comeau, and today my guest is Susan Ulfelder, and her topic for the conference is Releasing Emotional Patterns Transgenerationally, and her workshop is going to be on Saturday the 14th in the afternoon. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you very much, Linda. Appreciate being here.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. I know that you, I know of you because I bought lots of books from your business. So I would love to start off with a question that lots of people are asking me to ask presenters, and that is, how do you describe a constellation to a stranger?
Well, my short elevator speech is, family constellations is a healing modality that allows one to find a family system cause to the problems that you may be having today, whether it's relational, financial, or health related.
Wow, that's nice and short and sweet. You're fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they lead into how do you do that or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's such a popular question because sometimes we don't spend enough time thinking about our own business, I think. And it's a little hard to describe.
Yeah. It's easier to promote everybody else than it is to promote yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'd also like to know a little bit about how you run your business a bit, because you have really a couple of different sides, don't you?
Yes. I started out as a hands-on healer and then got involved in understanding that when you start moving energy blocks, most of them are emotionally related. And so I started studying everything I could about the emotions to figure out, how to help people release them. And about the same time I got interested in family constellations, I became aware of a book called Releasing Emotional Patterns with Essential Oils. And I was immediately drawn to it and finally understood why I was not attracted to the essential oil lavender. And it's because abandonment is the emotion that is released through lavender. Well, my mother went into the hospital when I was 3 months old and had a spinal fusion and a back operation and never held me for years and years. And so abandonment was my major issue. So immediately I started clearing this huge emotional issue for me with these essential oils. Then I got involved in family constellations by taking a workshop with Dietrich Klinghardt. And the last afternoon of his workshop, he had someone come in to do a family constellation workshop. And I was a little bit annoyed because I'd spent a lot of time and energy and money to study with him. And here he was passing the buck to somebody else. It turns out it was the absolute best thing that ever happened because it changed my whole life. It turns out I was chosen as a granddaughter, representation of a granddaughter in the constellation, and I became very, very, very emotional. And at that point in time, we weren't allowed to move. So as soon as the facilitator said, "And what do you want to do?" I pointed to my grandfather, who had been the estranged, banished one, who had been just brought back into the family, the excluded one. And the facilitator nodded, and I took off, ran across the room, jumped into this grandfather's arms, and burst into tears, hugging him, And as soon as it was over, I walked out of the circle, back to my chair, and was extremely non-emotional. and realize something powerful had just happened and I need to know more. So along these two tracks of my hands-on healing practice and then the trainings that I had in family constellations, eventually I brought them together. And this is what I'm going to be teaching in this workshop for the conference, that a client would come in with an emotional pattern and I'd use the technique to clear it. And then I wanted to know, well, where did this pattern come from? Did it come from the mother's side or the father's side? And so went down that route of having the client imagine, say it's their mother's side, imagine their mother standing in front of them in line with their siblings, their parents standing behind them, and then the parents standing behind them. So 3 more generations. And having her imagine that they're all doing the clearing process with the emotional oils as well. And when the energy comes to a still point, everybody in the field feels very calm. And so the client is not only healing her pattern, but also the whole family system on back. And so that's how I do it.
Awesome. And you have a book business.
Absolutely. When I started the Hellinger Institute of DC, I wanted to promote the work of Bert Hellinger. So I started sponsoring him for workshops in the Washington area. There's family constellators to come as well and do workshops. And started a training program. I attended the first training program that Harold Honan did in New York City. And then the next year had him come to the Washington, D.C. area and do a training here. And I took up the training ever since he left. So we do trainings, workshops, and when I was first exposed to this work, there was not even one book in English. And so as the books started proliferating, I started carrying them to also promote the work. And we also have a whole line of DVDs, of Bert's DVDs from all over the world that we carry, most of them in English. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So you'll have a table at the conference with a few books, will you?
Oh, a few books and all the DVDs. Yes, I will.
Excellent. Okay. So tell us about your talk, Releasing Emotional Patterns Transgenerationally.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it's going to be very experiential because I'm going to lead the group through it, as well as hopefully more than one person to volunteer to clear an emotional pattern, and we'll find out which side of the family. And in order to even show what I'm doing, I'm going to be having someone set up either footprints or colored mats for the person's family. And then to have members of the group come up and stand on one of the mats or footprints to be a representative for this person's family. And we'll all do the clearing process together so they can see that it really works.
Excellent. Oh, that's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it.
I bet. Well, we have a few more minutes. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us?
Well,
it's okay. We could just come to your workshop.
Okay. Yeah, then just come. We're looking forward to spending the time in sunny San Diego.
Yes. Now that, especially me from Ottawa, Canada.
Oh, yes. That should be wonderful.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for your time, Susan.
You are very welcome, Linda. Thank you for inviting us.
Oh, and I look forward to meeting you personally at the conference. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.